and I'm the founder
This
of
meeting is being
10Alytics.
recorded.
Hello, everybody. Good day. I hope we're doing good. Please, if you can hear me, could you leave a yes in the chat? If you can hear me clearly and audibly, please leave a yes in the chat. So the chat button icon is just at bottom. All right, thank you so much. So good day, everybody. It's a pleasure to have you here. I can see quite some familiar faces like Benjamin. Hi, Benjamin. It's good to have you here. So good evening, everybody. My name is Priscilla, and you're very welcome to 10Alytics Alumni Fireside Chat session. Okay, this is where participants or alumnus of 10Alytics that have gotten jobs come to tell you how they were able to land roles after training with 10Alytics. All right, so that's the main focus of our session today to let you know how participants of ours are able to land jobs. Okay, so Vincent says he cannot hear me. So hi, Vincent. Sorry, hi Ubong, if you can hear me, could you leave directions for Vincent on how to join in through the audio so they're able to hear me clearly? Thank you so much. I would really appreciate that. All right, guys, so let's jump into it. Like I said, my name is Priscilla, and I'll be your host for today's session. All right, Priscilla is joining in from Delta State, Nigeria, and I'm in the room, or I'm on this space with about 55 beautiful people, 55 amazing people. So if you can hear me clearly, I'd like to meet you just as you've met me. My name is Priscilla, and I'm sure if you see me anywhere, you'll be able to recognize Priscilla. All right, so just let me know your name and where you are joining in from. All right, so my name is Priscilla. I'll go first as the host of the session. My name is Priscilla. I'm joining in from Delta State, Nigeria. So just let me know where you are joining in from, okay? So, Benjamin, I see you. Yeah, good to have you. So please just let me know where you are joining in from. All right, your name as okay. Kabir is joining from Texas, USA. Good to have you here. You're welcome. Benjamin from Lagos, Nigeria. Good to have you here. So we just have two persons. I'm sure everybody's excited to be here because we're coming to pick the brains of people that have gotten jobs. Okay, so please just let me know where you're joining in from. All right, I can see Indifreka from Scotland, Elizabeth from Lagos, Asan from Toronto, Maria from Cape Verde, Carlton from Qatar. All right, you're very much welcome to today's session. And without much ado, we're just going to delve into it, all right? So I'll share my screen to introduce 10Alytics as well as to give you the flow for this session. And please, immediately you can see my screen. Ubong, please, as soon as you can see my screen, please let me know that you can see my screen. So I guess you should be able to see my screen now, correct? Please, if you can see my screen, could you leave a yes, or Ubong, please on me to let me know that you can see my screen, please.
Can see it.
She's going to, can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can see it.
All right. Thank you so much. So welcome everybody to a 10Alytics session. And today we'll be talking about how some alumnus of 10Alytics have been able to secure jobs after training with us at 10Alytics. So we have Ngozi Aderemi from the Business Analysis Program. We have Barry Benem Vulasi from the HR Analytics Program. We have Oluwadamilare Eweje from the Data Analytics Program. And we also have Abisola Muftal from the Data Science Program. Okay, so this program is brought to you by 10Alytics. And who are we at 10Alytics? What do we do basically? Are we able to get people, are we able to help people land jobs? So basically, we're a leading educational technology company and we're focused on providing specialized training in technology skills, okay? So our focus is on Africans and people of the Black community. We've been doing this for close to 5 years now, and we've helped over 2,000 plus people transition from the classroom into their first job in tech across the UK, US, Canada, Europe, Africa, and Asia. Okay, some of you might wonder, okay, so let's say I get started with these guys. They're in ed tech. They bring education close to my doorstep. They help me transition into tech. If I get started with them, how do I gain experience, especially for some of us that do not actually have a background in tech? That's why we actually have our team of instructors that bring their wealth of experience, from working in global companies like Apple, Microsoft, McKinsey, Amazon. So they bring a wealth of experience to class and then they deliver engaging and practical learning experience that ensure that you receive the maximum value for your money. So recently, in order to ensure that we continue delivering value, we got into the Alberta Catalyzer Velocity Program. And this program is basically designed to help innovative companies grow and scale. Okay, and the whole thing is just bordered around us being able to always deliver maximum value to people of the Black community and also help people land jobs continuously. All right, so this is my humble self, Priscilla. And who's Priscilla? Basically, I'm a passionate educator and tech enthusiast with over 2 years of experience cutting across the blockchain technology and data analytics. All right. I have experience spanning across data analyst, voice, fashion brand, crypto educator, and a budding front-end engineer. I've onboarded and helped over 500 participants transition into tech successfully. With me today is Chukwuemeka Ikpa. All right, so you're going to see him at some point in the session. And currently, Chukwuemeka is the CEO of 10Alytics, and he has guided over 1,000 plus individuals with no prior tech background into successful technology careers. He has worked across the financial services, capital markets, hospitality, and edtech sector. So what will be the flow of today's session, basically? I know that everybody here is excited to come watch people talk about how they were able to land job, but there's got to be a flow, all right? So the first thing we'll be doing is the main reason why you're here today. You will hear from some of our alumni on how they were able to get jobs. That's the first thing we'll be doing. And then the second thing is you'd also get to learn the in-demand tech skills and how you can choose the best skill for you to transition into and get a job with. All right, the next thing is the 10Alytics Growth Internship Program, and then you get to learn about our special discount offer to you. All right, so right now I'm just going to give you a very brief introduction of the participants that we have currently. So we have Abisola Muftal, like I said earlier, and a previous role before she got a job, after 10Alytics training, a previous role was as a Python curriculum developer, and currently our role is a machine learning engineer. All right, so we also have Damilare Eweje. He's from the data analytics program. Like I said previously, he was a digital marketer, and his current role is a sustainability data analyst. Then we have Barry Benem Vulasi. She's from the HR analytics program, and her previous role was as an operations supervisor. Currently, she's an HR analytics professional in Canada. All right, so we have Ngozi Aderemi, and her previous role was a customer patient scheduler, and currently she's a business analyst. So we're just going to delve into it right away. I'm going to let the guys come on board and introduce themselves. I've stopped sharing my screen just so that we have everybody here. So I think we have Benem here, we have Abisola. Hi Benem, hi Abisola, good evening and good to have you here. Can you hear me clearly, Benem? Good to see you. How are you doing?
Hi. Yeah, I can hear you clearly. Good to
Hi.
see you again.
Yeah, I know, right? Good to have you here. So I think we have Damilare here as well. Let me just confirm. Give me a minute to confirm that. And then, yes, we have Abisola. Hello, Abisola. Good to see you. Welcome.
Evening.
How are you
Good
doing
evening,
today?
everyone. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, good.
Yeah, good evening. So, hi, Damilare. I hope you're having a good.
Hi everyone. Hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear
Great.
you.
Yeah. Good evening.
Okay, I think we're supposed to have one final person. All right, Ubong, just let me know when they're here so that we bring them up. So we're just going to get right into it in no particular order. And the first thing I would want for us to do today is please to the listeners or to the participants joining in, if you know somebody that this session will be beneficial to, if you know somebody that wants to come learn about what analytics does and how people were able to land jobs, you can just send them the link to this session, okay? And thereafter, after the session, if you want to get access to the recording and then the slide and everything we'll be using in today's session, please do well to fill the feedback form. My colleague will be dropping the form in the chat so you can fill it and you get access or you get notified when the recording and resources are up. So in no particular order, I'll just start with Benem firstly. So hi Benem, if you could just introduce yourself to us and what you do currently, starting with who you are, how you got interested in transitioning into tech, what informed your decision, and how you found 10Alytics.
Hi everyone. My name is Benem, and to begin with, I had been considering a career change. So prior to 10Alytics, I did not have a tech background, but I was considering transitioning into human resources. And then I came across the 10Alytics masterclass. I saw their portfolio, I saw their programs, and I got interested in the HR analytics course. And so I reached out to them and I enrolled for the program. And in my previous role, I worked as an operations supervisor with a customer service organization. But after joining 10Alytics, I was able to improve my skills. And then I got a new position as a HR analyst for an organization here in Canada. So that's just a brief background of myself
All
and what
right.
I do.
Okay. Thank you so much for that introduction, Benim. So, would also like to know, how did you find 10 Analytics? I don't know. I don't know if I missed that part if you mentioned it.
I would say the analytics was very, very informative. Like I mentioned, prior to the analytics, I did not have a tech background. I did have basic understanding of Excel, but the analytics heightened my understanding of Excel. I was able to improve in tools like Excel, Power BI, SQL, which are tools that I currently use in my current position. And the facilitators were awesome. They were very, very outstanding. They were always there to help, always there to answer questions and guide us. And, it wasn't just about the classroom experience, it was also what happened after. So after the classroom lectures, if you had any questions, they were always there to help and to guide, which I found really helpful. So I would say 10Alytics positioned me to be able to get the the HR analytics role that I got. They prepared me very well and it was very beneficial.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Benim. I think I was having a lag at some point. Thank you for the warm introduction. Good to meet you. So I think we're going to move to Damilari. Hello, Damilari. If you could just do us the honors, just tell us about yourself, what the journey has been, how you transitioned into tech, and how you found Tanalytics, the training program, I mean.
Right. Good evening, everyone, once again. I hope you can hear me, though, because I keep muting myself at some point. Just confirm if you can hear me. Yeah, thank you very much. So, my name is Damilari, Oluwa Damilari, but I'd like to shorten it as Damilari because it stresses people out to call the full name. So I just like to call Damilari Iwije. As a matter of fact, here in the UK, I just use Dami because it's a long name. And um, I, yeah, from the introduction, I work as a digital marketer way back in Nigeria, and getting to the UK, I discovered I need to make a switch because it looks like tech is the real thing, is the is the main thing to do. And from there on, I just decided to look at what are my best options. And I decided to just go into data analysis. And my case was just a case of someone who is looking for something and met the right people that can help facilitate what I need. So that was how I get to find TED Analytics by just a post on Twitter. And the rest has been a story because I found TED Analytics training very, very insightful, and um, it helped me through the journey of being a data analyst because prior to the training, I can barely say I know how to use Excel or any of the BI tools, but the training helped me to learn those hands-on skills and also prepare me for the future of working with real-world data and the likes. So it's been a wonderful journey for me. Not to, I wouldn't like to just beat around the bush because it's been a long day. Yeah, so that's just me in few words, and I'll pass the mic over to someone else. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Damilare. I think Priscilla is having a little bit of challenges, so I'm going
Yeah,
to take it up from here. Okay,
right.
so fantastic intro you have there. How about you, Abisola? Let's hear from you as well. Um, how has Tenacity been able to help you also, and how did you get to hear about us, and also a little bit intro about yourself and how you got to where you are at this point. So, Abisola, you have the floor.
Okay. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, hi.
So I I have a tech background, but my BSc was electronics and computer engineering. But along the line, my work experience has not been in the tech field. I initially started in the tech field, but over time I moved into facilities management, then later into teaching. So it wasn't until I moved back into the UK that when I went for my master's. So that was when I decided to go back into tech. And after I finished my master's program, I bumped into 10Alytics on their Twitter page. And basically, my intention then was I didn't want to forget what I had learned back in the university. So I needed like a a community of people that could also help me and encourage me in my journey. So basically, and that was how I got into 10Alytics. And the whole program was insightful, and it was good for me. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I can say.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Bisola. Okay. So moving on, I know I have a couple of other questions that I want to ask so that we can more easily dive into it. So I think I'm going to start with Bandem. Hi, Bandem. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, I hope I pronounced that correctly. So I
Yeah.
don't know, did you have a computer-related degree or a tech background before analytics? And if not, how did you help you with respect to getting to the point where you are at this point?
Okay. So the name is Bainem. I would say you tried a bit. You're close. Yeah. So to answer the question, I honestly had no tech background. In fact, I had both my BSc and my master's degree in peace and conflict resolution. And at the time, I was very passionate about, moving to the UN and doing some nonprofit work. But I think I had a transition when I moved to Canada. I had to look at the market system. I also wanted a tech family. And so I decided to, transition into tech. And so I would say 10 Analytics was my first tech course that I took. And I found it really easy to learn. I found it really impactful. It wasn't so complicated. If anything, I think the instructors tried their best to simplify it for us all to make sure that we understood and that we were gaining the knowledge and skills that were needed.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Benem. Okay, so over to you, Damilare. So for you, I think I'm also going to ask you what I asked Benem before I ask you your own peculiar question around if you had any initial tech background and how we're able to also help you with respect to transitioning to the tech ecosystem.
Yeah, prior to 10 Analytics, I have no tech background. It's just digital marketing that I do. And what I know is about writing blog posts, running Facebook or social media ads. So these are things that I do. So when it comes to the tech background, like being a tech itself, I barely know nothing. I know nothing about BI tools. Like I said earlier, I use a little of Excel, but not as I use them now, not as the knowledge I acquired training with analytics. So analytics has helped me to learn more or just get the right skills that I need to excel in the tech space. So for me, I have no tech background before 10Alytics at all.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Damilare. So let me also ask Abisola the same question. Did you have initial background around the tech ecosystem? And also how were we able to assist you to break into where you are at this point?
Like I mentioned earlier, my BSc was in computer engineering, and my MSc was in AI and data science. My main goal with 10Alytics at that time was not to, because when I finished all through my MSc, I didn't work. I wasn't doing anything. So when I finished and I started looking for jobs, it was a little bit frustrating for me because most of the responses were unfortunately. So I just felt one day while I was I mentioned I bumped into 10Alytics on Twitter, and I was like, okay, rather than just staying idle, I can join this community, and it would help me cement whatever it is that I've learned. I won't forget whatever I've learned. Then I could also gain some other things, because some of the things I saw that they were also offering was the CV reviews, the internship stuffs, and a whole lot of other things. So those other side packages actually was what drew me to 10Alytics. Beyond the classes. The classes were fantastic, but more fantastic for me was like the CV review sessions, the LinkedIn optimization sessions, the one-to-one interview prep sessions. These are things that really you'd have to, you can't buy with money. You can't even get those tips readily or easily on YouTube or on, because they are like golden advice that that was actually needed for me at that point. So that was the thing for me for 10Alytics.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Abisola. So if you clearly heard what Abisola mentioned, she said that she already had initial computer science background, which means she had a certain level of understanding when it comes to the tech ecosystem. So it's not just for people that are coming from a different background. You that is already in the tech ecosystem, there's possibility that you need hands-on practical experience. That's what also led Abisola into being, and of course, the other employability services that we also offer. So thank you so much. If you're just joining us, please make sure that you fill the attendance form so that you get access to the recording of this exact discussion, so that if you missed any question, you can personally go through it on your own and be able to have full understanding of what we are talking about. So still on you, Abisola, what was the most useful mock interview tip that helped you during the actual interview while you are with us here? I mean, when you were training with us, there were certain mock interviews that we used to carry out. What's the most useful one to you that actually helped you respect to where you are today?
I really can't say that this was the most useful one. Then this was the most useful one. I had very fantastic sessions. I had one with Sheyi, I had with Precious, I had with Ibrahim. I was always going after them, one after the other. If one person does not answer me, I'll look for another person. And I at a point, I felt that these guys might just be tired of me. But I can't say that this was the most important one, or this was the most beneficial one. All of them, I could pick one thing from Sheyi that I didn't pick from Precious. I picked something from Precious that I didn't pick from Ibrahim. So I think it was just the total package for me, and it cemented all of those things that there was this guy that did a session for us, Ibrahim Suleiman, and he talked about the seats method. So, but Ibrahim's session was it was a Zoom session like this, and there were lots of us in the session. So, answering questions or asking questions was it was a tricky one. But the one-on-one interview sessions that I had, these guys will put you on the spot. They will ask you like a proper interview. And then by the time you do your they will tell you, okay, we'll do another session. Then I expect that you'd have cemented this you'd have cemented this. So I'll go back. I'll try to practice more. And it was just very fantastic. All of the sessions. The session I had with Sheyi first was the one when I started 10Alytics then in November. So that was the one that helped me with getting my first job. Then the other sessions I had with Precious and Ibrahim actually it was meant for another job. But the interview there, that interview was cancelled. So when there was another role for a machine learning scientist that came on. So because I had so many sessions with Ibrahim and Precious, I didn't want to bother them again. So I used the knowledge I got from the other sessions. So I just tweaked it into these other jobs, and well, the rest is history now. So that was my experience with them.
All right. Thank you so much, Abisola. So Abisola can pinpoint the exact interview prep that helped her the most, but she clearly found value from every single thing that we offered. If you're wondering what we're talking about, it's fully about interview prep sessions. So when you join, it's not just the technical aspect of the training that you are going to get. You also have access to being prepared for interviews at any point that it comes up. Okay, so fully Absola benefited from one of those conversations. So moving to you, Damilare, how did working on real world case studies enhance your own experience with 10Alytics? The trainings that we do has to come with real world based scenarios. How did it also enhance your own learning experience with us here at 10Alytics?
Yeah, for me, that was the game changer, to be honest, because working on those real world experiences or those real world case study questions, the real world experiences that were shared with us then kind of prepare me for the job market, because here in the UK, you hardly go through any interview without technical part of the interview where you'll be sent a brief and a data set to work on. So all of this real world case studies, data set that have been sent to us to work on prepared me for that part of my job search. So even when I was still actively looking for job, or when I was not even actively looking for, I'll go back to some of those case studies to work on them and just refine myself, fine tune myself. I can even go back to some of the dashboards that I've built, see how to make them better, just to enhance the skills that I have. So all of these things kind of prepare me for the job markets, like I said. So for me, it was a game changer, because if I don't have that experience, it will look vague to me if I try to apply for any role and I'm being sent a data to work on. I'll be like, where do I even start from? But the experience that analytics gave me was golden, because when we get those real world case studies come through, it, it offers me the time to think through and see how to approach them, how best to tackle them, the insights I can draw from whatever it is that was sent to us. So these are the things that actually prepare me for the job market. And for me, it really helped me to be able to land my role at the moment as well. So that's it from me.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Damilari. So I think I got disconnected at some point. Thank you, Chukwemeka, for holding me down. Damilari, please, can you still hear me clearly?
Yeah, I can.
All right, all right. Thank you for your response. So I think I'd like to ask Dainam the same question. How did you find the case study based approach of learning? All right, and how useful has it been for you?
To be honest, I would say it has been extremely useful. I think one of the benefits of having like a real life case study is that you're not just using maybe dummy data sets or things. You're actually using real life experiences because when you get the job, you're going to be working on real cases, right? So the data sets that we use in the HR analytics program, they were really helpful. And there are things that I'm currently working on. For example, we looked into HR metrics like attrition or turnover. We also looked at things like vacancy. We looked at employee demographics, and those are same metrics that I'm currently working on. So what I would say is having those real world case studies built my confidence in being able to apply the skills in the role that I'm currently doing. And I would say they were really impactful. They were really helpful in building my skills. So I think that's a really good thing that analytics does, is to introduce real life case studies into the trainings.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%, especially for people that are getting into tech without prior background. So I can see a question in the chat that speaks to that. How can someone without prior computer knowledge benefit or cope with the training? So the way we have it is we have case study based approach, like Benem has rightly explained, and they give you the experience that you need to work on projects, and to also include in your CV. All right, thank you so much for that fantastic response, Benem. So I just like to ask you, Damilari, okay, before I move to Abisola. So for you, Damilari, how did you find the mentorship sessions and employability sessions? How helpful were they to you in landing your job?
Very helpful because the job market keeps changing every now and then. So it's something you need to keep yourself up to date and be abreast of whatever is going on. So those mentorship sessions and employability sessions were very, very helpful to prepare and guide me towards my applications. Because I remember when I started applying, it was terrible. Quick, I keep getting, unfortunately. That I don't think there's anyone on this, like my fellow people that are on this call with me, that hasn't got any, unfortunately. So it was a really tough period then. And attending these sessions kind of helped to tweak things around, try some other approach and all of that. So the summary of it is it was very helpful because I can keep talking and talking and talking about it, and
Yeah, yeah,
we'll,
absolutely. And they
we'll
help
spend the
you
whole night
stay,
here.
yeah, they help you stay motivated as well. So
Exactly.
when you jump on mentorship sessions with our fantastic facilitators at Desai Femana, and you just get one or two tips that just keeps you going. So yes, they were really, really helpful. I can attest to that. So I think I'll just ask Abisola, technical skills or soft skills, which do you think is most important? How would you rate both of them?
Um, is it in terms of analytics or
No,
is it
generally,
generally?
yes.
Well, I think none is more important than the other because really in most job descriptions they'll they would highlight the technical skills, and they would also highlight the soft skills. Because in an organization, you won't be working with maybe only yourself. You have to work across cross-functional teams. And I think one of the things 10Alytics also did was during the internship, we I was part of the data science team. We had to work with those from the data engineering, those from the business analysis. So we would regularly um, arrange meetings, discuss, we because our own job was kind of like the last part, so we were dependent on the output from the other teams. So we had to also ginger them. How are you guys doing? Have you guys finished this? So because these are things in the end, when you are in an interview and they ask you, have you worked in a cross-functional team?
Yeah.
What was the situation? What was the task? What was the approach? What was the result? So you can phrase all of this and say, okay, during this time, I did this. This was the situation. This was this, like that, like that, like that. But when you're not put, the way the whole program was simulated, it was simulated like a real life
Experience.
experience, exactly. So it was easy, when you are saying these things, okay, that I did this, I did it, I did. It won't be as if it was a rote learning and you be like doing like a robot. It was something you experienced, so it would be easy for you to say it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that, so with analytic, it's just like, not just, we don't focus on only the technical skills part of things. So there's this thing that we usually do in the data analytics, HR analytics, and financial analytics program, where you build a dashboard and then you work in groups to present your dashboard. So all of those just helps with developing soft skills. So it's a complete package, it's a total package, a mix of technical skills as well as soft skills to ensure that you land your desired role. So thank you so much for that response, Abisola. All right, and then I'd just like to ask everybody one question before we delve into the final question. And I'll start with Benem first. So Benem, could you let me know how your learning experience was? So you could just talk about it in a way that helps a complete beginner understand the first things you learned, and then the progression, the facilitators, the coordinators, the resources in 10Alytics. Thank you.
Uh, right. So I would like to start by saying it was a fully virtual training. Although I was in Canada, I was able to participate in the training. I know we had time difference issues, but they also made it work. So that was like the biggest thing. And then when it came to the course syllables, if I recall correctly, I shouldn't be wrong about this, but we started with a breakdown of understanding the basics of data analysis. Because before you delve into HR analytics, you want to understand what you're doing. You want to understand what data is and what the various data analysis steps are. So that was what we started with. And then we progressed into Excel, if I remember correctly. You taught us the basics in Excel, how to do, basic calculations, and my favorite was XLOOKUP and VLOOKUP. We did a lot of that in Excel. And then we progressed to the next tool. We did Power BI. I also love Power BI. I had zero knowledge of Power BI, but now it's like my favorite data analysis and visualization tool, thanks to 10Alytics. After Power BI, we delved into SQL, a little bit of a challenge, but they made it work. They
Absolutely.
were, they were there to hold our hands and they made it work. And then after learning the tools, the most important part was then teaching us HR terminologies, how to present your data to your stakeholders, because it's not just about doing the analysis. For HR analytics, you also have stakeholders that you are reporting to. So that was the next part. And it was very, very impactful because I find myself doing a lot of presentations to various stakeholders right now. And then we had the capstone project, very awesome project. We were given the final topic to go back and work on and to build a dashboard and also do presentation. And that was the capstone. And after that, I believe we also had internship opportunities, which I partook in. And that also, I'll say that added to my total experience with analytics.
Yeah. Benem, are you still speaking? Just to confirm.
Oh no, I'm done.
All right, all right. Thank you so much for that, Benem. Thank you. So, if you're looking to get started in the HR Analytics program, Benem has just given you a proper breakdown of how the flow is usually. So, you start with the basics because the HR Analytics program is a combination of data analytics and HR analytics. You start with the basics, you learn what is data analytics, you also learn what problem solving is, all right, and then we take you into analytics itself, where you get to learn Excel, you get to learn about Power BI, SQL, and the HR analytics program itself. Afterwards, you get to work on a capstone project, and then you have the internship afterwards. So all of this is wholesome because we also have data coaches. So if you're thinking it's a virtual program, I don't know how to learn virtually, my attention span is low and all of that, you have coaches that are willing to hold your hand from beginning to the end. Okay, so you get calls almost every now and then. If you miss classes, if you're not doing what you ought to do, you get emails and you get calls. So it's really, really an awesome package. And thank you for that succinct explanation, Benem. So I'm going to ask the same question to Damilare. Could you also tell us the flow of the data analytics program? Just as Benem did. Thank you.
Yeah, almost the same flow with BNM, but I think we started with problem solving. So from problem solving, we moved to Excel. Then after Excel, we were exposed to Power BI, which is my best tool as well, just like BNM. Then after Power BI was Tableau. Tableau was cool as well, but I just have this special preference and love for Power BI. And after Tableau, we did SQL. Yeah, it was a bit of challenge too, but we pulled through. Then after that was the capstone project. After capstone project, we did internship. I also partook of the internship and the capstone project. These were all of the things that helped me to sharpen my skills. So I didn't leave any stone untouched. So I went through all of the process. And after that, just joining the mentorship sessions, employability sessions to keep myself motivated and reach out if I need any help, which 10Alytics have always been there to respond to my needs or any help I reach out for until
Yeah.
I'm not disturbing you guys again at the moment.
We're always here
Yeah.
to accommodate you, though. Thank you so much for that, Damilari. So I think I want to ask Abisola this question. As a machine learning engineer, of all the tools you learned how to use in Analytics, which is the one that you frequently make use of in your day-to-day job?
Python.
Oh, you were a Python curriculum developer. That's
Yeah,
nice.
Python. In my previous job, it was Python all through. And this new job, although it's not like pure Python. I would want to say that for this it's quite funny because in one of the mentorship sessions we had, not one actually, but any mentorship session that had Efemena in it, Efemena would always be like, even if it is just 1 hour every day, just to make sure you are learning something. Make sure, make sure, make sure you're doing something such that whatever it is, because really, Analytics can do so much that they can, but the rest of it actually is in our hands really to make to practice whatever it is that we've learned. And so for this machine learning job, it's basically AWS. And it's quite funny because when FMNA would mention that make sure that even if it's just 1 hour or 30 minutes every day, make sure you are learning something. And I saw that job role and it had to do with AWS, and I hadn't done anything on AWS before. And so I had always gotten an email from this Udacity about one scholarship. And that scholarship, part of the benefits from that scholarship was they were offering a generative AI course. And so I did the exam, I got into that program, and I did what is it called? The generative AI thing. So that exposed it's a different form of, it's not core Python. It's kind of like easier because you have a lot of tools. But my point is, that spirit of wanting to put your hands in different things, wanting to learn, and not just standing. It would they would take us through the classes in 10 Analytics were very, very easy. They were as in, it was easy for even if you don't have a tech background, you would easily get through all of those programs. But once you leave those things, you find that you begin to forget them. So the point is, just keep going back. Just like Efemena said, if it's just 30 minutes in a day, if it is just 1 hour, just try. If it is just one small YouTube video, just be looking. Those small, small passive knowledge, it will just be entering small, 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 small like that. So I think,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the ability to learn constantly is one thing that every tech professional should look into developing, because you cannot be in tech without learning constantly. The world is evolving as always, and you need to stay on top of the situation. Thank you for sharing that, Abisola. So one last question, and I think I want Benem to answer this first. During your journey, was there any point in time where you felt like quitting, and what was the motivation for you? What kept you going?
There was never any time I felt like quitting home. I
Wow,
had my
you're laser focused. That's nice.
I was away for the tech money. Ain't no quitting in this.
I'm telling you.
But yeah, jokes aside, again, the course was made so simple that I was actually looking forward to every lecture. So it was no pressure, no anxiety. I was always excited to be in class, learning something new. And what really motivated me, you see, it's one thing to sign up for a program, it's another thing to sign up for a really good program. My instructors were the best. And so I was always eager to go and learn every lecture day. It was really exciting. I should say exciting is the word. And so what kept me motivated was my goal. I had a goal that I had to see to the end, which was becoming a HR analyst, just breaking into the tech field. That was my focus. That was what I was sleeping and dreaming about every day. And that's what kept me motivated. And I'll say thanks to 10 Analytics for also holding my hands through the journey. And yeah, they made my dreams come true.
Yeah, absolutely. We're so happy and proud to have done that, Bainam. So yes, let's just head on to the final question, and Damilari will take that firstly. So Damilari, for anybody looking to get started in tech, what would be your what would you say to them to keep them motivated and to let them know that they can actually do it?
Right. Anyone looking to get into tech at the moment should just stay motivated and keep trying, because I'll use myself as an example. I was going through my training at a very tough point in my life where things were really, really difficult, and it was not just the best of time to learn. But for some reason, I had to pull through because I know I could see the end from the beginning. So that kept me motivated. Like I just need to see this through. Even though the job is not there yet, even though I don't even know what the future holds. But I just felt like if I could learn these skills, the skills will stay with me for life. No one is going to take it away from me. So I let all of those motivate me, and I just I just find a way to keep pushing myself. And also life, yeah, life also pushed me to, because like I said, I was at a point in my life where it's either you do this or you just do it. So there's no going back. You just have to do it. So that's what kept me motivated. So your whoever might be on this call right now, whatever your own motivation might be different from mine, and you might still even feel like, oh, you're in a comfortable zone where you'll try it later. But what I would just say to you is the best time to get into tech was 5 years ago, and the next best time is right now. So the best thing you should just do is to take up this opportunity right now, and
Yeah.
just don't take it too far. Honestly, just get started. That's all I could say. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. I liked how you shared that, Damilare, the ability to visualize the end from the beginning. So you know what you are getting into, and it just helps you stay motivated. Thank you so much for sharing, Damilare. So, Abisola, to you, what would be your final words for people looking to get started in tech?
I think everyone has said it all. Motivation, the ability to want to keep learning, because every day new things, new technologies are coming out. And especially if it not only for someone that has a tech background. If you have a tech background or you don't have a tech background, I think I can't overemphasize the importance of being in a community. You won't know when they'll be useful to you, really. Because technology these days it's gone beyond what you know. Your network also matters. You don't know what one person will say, and that will just be the trigger for you that would push you to the next step. It might just be a word, it might be a link, it might be maybe a LinkedIn post or something. So it's always good to belong to a community. And the good thing about 10Alytics is I would always say that 10Alytics it's like a blank check. You write whatever you want to write in it.
Yeah.
As in all of the projects you've done, you would write that I did this for a client while I was at 10Alytics. I did this, and because you did all of the different case studies from health to telecommunications to, so you know what you know what you're talking about. It's a blank check. Do what you will with 10Alytics, and even after the whole thing, you can always get back to them for references. They'll give, because I had to go to them I'm so sure they'll be tired of my name, Seth.
Well, not
Always running after them. So it's just a blank check. Just fill in whatever it is that they've given you the knife and the yam. So whatever you want to do, if you want to do just boiled yam, if you want to do yamarati or yamarita or whatever, it depends on you. So
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Abisola. So it's more like a plain slate. Make of it what you want to. Okay, Analytics is a community. We have resources that are able to help you land the job that you would want to. But it depends on you. Are you really hungry enough? Do you really want to get into tech? All right, so it just really depends on you because we have all it takes. We have everything you need to help you land a job. If you don't have experience, we have case studies that will give you experience. We have internship, would help you learn how to build a portfolio, would help you learn how to get prepared for interview using really, really key strategies. So please, Tanalytics is the platform that you want to be in. So the final question is to Damilari, and it's actually the same question I've asked Benem and Abisola. Oh no, sorry. I think I had asked Damilari, so I would ask that to Benem now. Please, what would be your final words for people looking to get started in tech?
Just to piggyback on what both Damilare and Abisola have said, I will add just stop thinking. Just stop thinking and do it. I spent a lot of time thinking about transitioning to the point where I was asking myself, why did it take me this long to, just sign up and start learning? So my advice is go ahead, register, start learning. Time waits for no man. We are seeing how things are actually progressing. We have AI now, in the tech space. So now is the time to start learning. So my advice to you would be go ahead and sign up, learn, and also keep yourself motivated, keep yourself focused on your goal. And I believe that at the end of the day, you'll be able to achieve, that which you're looking for. But most importantly, stop thinking and start doing.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bidem. Thank you for sharing that. Like Dami said, see the best time to get into tech was 5 years ago, and the next best time is now. So if you're looking to get started, stop thinking and start doing, like Benema said. So thank you so much for joining us, Damilare, Abisola, and Benem. It was really awesome speaking to you and picking your brains. All right, thank you so much. So we have some questions, a couple of questions in the chat. I can see them. No worries. I can see your question, and my colleague Chukwemeka will come on board right now, and he will provide clarity to every of your questions to our listeners and to those of us joining in. So please just stay tuned. Thank you for joining us, Bam. Thank you, Dami. Thank you, Abisola. So Chukwemeka, please, can you hear me now? Hello,
Yes, can hear
Chukwemeka.
you loud and clear.
All right, please, you have the floor.
All right. Thank you so much, Priscilla. Thank you so much, Damilare. Thank you so much, Benem. Thank you so much, Abisola. Okay, I really enjoyed the sessions that we just had right now. If you're just joining us, please make sure that you fill the attendance form so that you get access to the recording of this class and you can personally go through the discussions that we've had with our alumni so they can be able to also make a decision from it as well. So I'm going to bring up my screen so that we'll start immediately. Okay, I'll bring up my screen and I'll walk you through all the questions that you are dropping in the chat box. We are going to answer it. Okay, pertaining to cybersecurity, we are going to answer it. Scrum, we're going to answer it. Every single question that you have, we are going to answer it tonight. Okay, just in the next 45 minutes, I'll come up with answers to all your questions. Okay, so my screen will be coming up in the next few minutes. Okay, hi Priscilla, please confirm that you can see my screen. Hi Priscilla, hi Bon, please
Yes, I
confirm that
can
you can
see
see
your
my
screen.
screen. All right, fantastic. I know a couple of them have typed in the chat box, but how do I get started? So that's the question I'm about to answer for you first, okay? How do we get started? I think there is a question still in the chat box. So please, if you are still here and you've actively listened to us till this very moment, I want you to drop something in the chat box before I continue with this exact segment so that I'll be sure that there are people here listening to what we are discussing tonight. So if you followed us till this very moment, please drop any single thing, anything in the chat box so that I'll be sure that there are people listening to what we have to say. Okay, Chidema is saying 45 minutes is long. I mean, it depends on how hungry you actually want it, okay? For me to explain 8 different career paths in the tech ecosystem is not something you will do in the next 1 minute, okay? It's not a 1-minute summary that you instantly get. There are a lot of people here, a lot of questions that I need to answer, and I'm going to take it one step at a time, all right? So the reason why we also have the attendance form is for you to fill it so that even if you drop off at any point, you still get access to the recording of this class and also access to the slide that we are using for this exact discussion. Okay, so I'm going to dive right into the next. I can see a couple of chats. I can see a couple of comments dropping. Now, the practical step for you to get started in the tech ecosystem is simply 6. Okay, there are 6 different steps that you need to take with respect to you being able to break into the tech industry. And the first one amongst it is to select your desired tech career path. Okay, to select your desired tech career path. The second one is to learn the skill. The third one is to gain project-based experience. Like Abisola mentioned, you have to learn using the project-based method, and of course also have the employability skills, then the networking and the mentorship that also comes with it. So these 6 steps are what we use to be able to move you from our classroom into landing your first job. Okay, so I'm going to take 6 of them one at a time so that we are also able to understand how we also can be able to break into the tech industry. So first one is to select the right career path. So before I continue, I don't know if at this moment there are people here that have already selected a career path that they desire, they want to move into. Okay, please, can you just drop it in the chat box so that I would know the career path that you've already selected for yourself that you want to transition into. All right, if you've already made a choice of this is where I want to be in, just type it in the chat box so that I also see where people are also tilted towards and know how I will channel my discussion tonight. Okay, I can see Joseph, cyber security, Chidema, data science. I'm in a business analysis, Scrum Master Trudy, business analysis, Oluwatomisin, Docker's data analytics. I'm interested in data analysis. That's from Uche. Amazing. I can see a couple of data analytics everywhere. It means that data guys are more than every other person. Okay, so I'm going to jump right into it. Now, what we do at the end of each year is always to look at all the job boards out there. Okay, so we look at LinkedIn, we review Indeed, we review Glassdoor, we review Total Jobs, then CV Library, and of course, Monster and Google Jobs. So I'm trying to explain this for people that have not yet selected a career path so that you're able to choose wisely the one that suits your own personality. So after we've scraped all these job boards, we analyze them using 3 basic metrics, and that's 1, ease of learning, 2 is ease of transitioning, number 3, high rewarding salary. Okay, so after we've scraped all these job boards, we bring out jobs that had the highest post for that exact year. Then we analyze it using 3 exact metrics: ease of learning, which one has the ease that you can easily learn it and not break your head before you can be able to move into that exact space. Then number 2 is ease of transitioning. Do they offer possibility of bringing in transferable skills from where you are coming from? Maybe you're a customer service person, you are a lawyer, or you are an engineer or a banker. Are there transferable skills from where you're coming from into the job that you want to get? So that's also part of the criteria that we use. And then lastly, which is the most important thing that everyone is transitioning because of, which is high rewarding salary. So that's where we're able to select all these 8 career paths that we currently offer here at 10Alytics. And that's 1, business analyst. Number 2, agile project manager, that's the scrum master. Number 3, data analyst. Number 4, data scientist. 5, data engineer. 6, cybersecurity analyst, financial analyst, and then HR analyst. And then the next thing that we went on to do is to analyze and look for external validation that these jobs that we have selected in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, 10 years to come and more, they are not going to be out of vogue. So we looked at the World Economic Forum report. Okay, so if you are conversant with the World Economic Forum report, you know that is a forum where they also discuss about the future of jobs. So right there, you can easily see the jobs that will be in demand in the next coming years. And this is from the economic changes that's happening across the globe. So from there, you can see that the number 1 job that will grow in the next coming years is AI and machine learning specialist. Okay, and that can easily be tilted towards data scientist. Right, you can see number 2, sustainability analyst, but let's concentrate on the ones that we've already colored. Okay, so let's look at the red ones first. You see AI and machine learning specialist. The other one, you're looking at business intelligence analyst, and the next red color you're seeing are data analyst and scientists. Now, it simply means that data analysts and scientists, they are constantly going to be in demand in the next coming years, and that they are also going to grow. Okay, so the next one we are seeing there, the blue coded color, is information security analyst. Now, information security analyst speaks to cyber security. Okay, it speaks to cyber security, meaning that in the next coming years, cyber security is going to constantly be in demand. I mean, in this era of data, companies are constantly churning out thousands, millions of data each day. In fact, there was a report I was looking at, and it said that 90% of the data that we see today were generated just 2 years ago. Okay, that means that companies need cybersecurity professionals to be able to protect the digital assets. All right. Next one there is the big data specialist. Okay, the green coded color. You have the big data specialist, you have the data engineers, and of course, you have the database architects. Now, this speaks to data engineers. Someone needs to be able to build the pipeline that connects different data sources and bring it to people that need that data to analyze. And that's the reason why data engineers are going to grow. Then you also have your process automation specialists, which are the business analysts. Process automation specialists, the business analysts, meaning that it is part of the jobs that are going to grow. Now, if you take a closer look on that same left-hand side, you are going to see that there are some jobs that are here that we did not select. Okay, there are some jobs here that we did not select. For instance, you have your robotics engineers. Robotic engineering is going to be in demand, is going to grow. All right, you have your blockchain developers. This is going to also grow and is going to also be in demand. But these two jobs that exist here, do they meet this criteria that we have? Ease of learning, ease of transitioning, and high rewarding salary. So clearly, they meet number 3, which is high rewarding salary. But is it a career path that you can easily say, okay, I want to be a robotics engineer, and the next 4 to 6 months, you can easily transition to be a robotics engineer? That's where the challenge lies, okay? It is not a career path that you can easily transition into. Is it a career path that you can easily say, oh, I want to learn robotics engineering, and then you can dive into it and start learning? It is also a challenge. So you can see the reason why, even though they are part of jobs that are going to grow and be in demand, it's not part of the ones that we offer, because it didn't meet our 3 criteria, which is ease of learning, ease of transitioning, and high rewarding salary. Another prominent course also is this one on the right-hand side, product managers. So people always come, oh, why are we not offering product management? We want to be able to take it. But you can see that product managers, they are part of the jobs that are also going to decline in the next coming years. Okay, and what's the reason for that? I'll show you in the next slide. So moving on to the next slide, you will see that part of the jobs that are also going to grow is the project managers. The project managers, and that's because of the request for agile scrum masters. Companies are now looking for people that have agile methodologies to help them work iteratively. Okay, and that means that the need for project managers, the need for agile guys, the scrum masters, has made product management to decline. And that is where the world is tilting towards. So if you've been thinking of, oh, I want to be a product person, you might want to rethink about and say, okay, maybe I have to go towards the agile scrum master aspect. All right, the next jobs are also going to grow are the financial analysts and, of course, data analysts and data science. So now you've seen the reason why we offer only these 8 courses as part of what we have here. Now, these 8 courses doesn't mean that it is just a data analyst that you will be. For instance, that lady that just spoke to us, he studied data analytics. So he took the program data analytics with us. But presently, he's working as a sustainability analyst. So as one of those courses you are studying, there are several other derivatives under it that you can easily transition to as well. For instance, if you are a data analyst, you can also comfortably work as a BI intelligence analyst. You can work as a marketing analyst, as a sales analyst, as a logistics analyst, as a procurement analyst, customer analyst, and so much more. Right? So far as that role that you're going for has the need for someone with Excel, someone with Power BI, Tableau, and SQL, then you as a data analyst can comfortably apply that exact role. So the same thing, if you're looking to break into business analysis, it's not just business analysis roles that you are looking for. You can also work as a process analyst, can work as a systems analyst, as a requirements analyst, and so much more. So each of those 8 career paths that we have, there are several derivatives, several other courses that you can also easily break into after you are done taking all those courses. So what we also try to do this end of year is to look at what's the trend saying, what's the prediction saying, all right? What is the current prediction with respect to what is going to happen in 2025? And we see what Robert Half mentioned, that according to the data that they analyze, 46% of companies plan to increase salaries by 2025. And they are notable amongst the tech and IT sector. And their main reason for this is because of the competition in the hiring market, and of course, the need to attract skilled talent. So if you're still thinking of, okay, are you going to be in the tech ecosystem or move into the health sector or the different sectors that exist, this might also give you a direction. So just make sure you fill the attendance form. You can click on read more and be able to internalize every single thing that they mentioned. So now the next step, remember the first one is for you to choose a skill. Now the next one is to learn the technical skills in your own choosing career. Okay, and how do we do that? For you to be able to be a data analyst, you need to be able to learn the skills that relates to data analysis. If you want to be a data engineer, you need to learn the skills that pertains to data engineering, and that is where we come in. So all our programs have two basic approach that we use. One is live instructor-led classes. So all our classes are live instructor-led, which means you have someone walking you through the ropes. If you have question, you raise your hand, draw the person back, and the person will answer your question. And also we have the self-paced learning, okay? Because we have our learning management system, all you have to do is log into the learning management system and also watch the self-paced aspect there, okay? But two of them are what makes you whole. So you need to watch the self-paced aspect. You also need to be able to come to class for your live instructor-led class for you to be able to have the full grasp of everything. And even if you miss the live instructor-led class, all our classes are also recorded and uploaded to your classroom that you can also comfortably watch it at any time. Now, the next one is for you to gain project-based experience and build a portfolio. This is where the entire work lies, okay? So most people always come to you and say, I have this skill, I have this experience, but they can't show evidence of what they've been able to do in the past. So the tech ecosystem is more of a skill and competence-based environment, okay? So which is why I have this question for us, just a simple question, right? You have a car and your car spoils, okay? And you've met the first mechanic and the person said, oh, I'm a graduate from Harvard University. Please bring your car, let me repair it for you, okay? And the next person is saying, oh, I don't have a degree, but I've repaired a Toyota, I've repaired an Aston Martin, I've repaired a Benz. This is my mechanic workshop. Bring your car, let me repair it for you. Who are you going to give your car to? This or that? Are you going to give your car to the mechanical engineer from Harvard, or are you going to give it to the person that has experience repairing Benz, Toyota, Aston Martin, and has a workshop? Who are you going to give your car to? Let me hear what people that are here actually think about this exact analogy. Okay, I think Chidema said the guy with the mechanic workshop with experience. Same thing that Leo mentioned, experienced mechanic. Elizabeth said that. Chudi mentioned definitely that. Uche mentioned the one with experience. Same thing like Inkaga mechanical. Exactly. So when it comes to the tech ecosystem, it is more of a skill and competence-based environment. But what we see these days is that we pursue the certification. Okay, and if you pursue the certification, it's just like you putting the cart before the horse. So if you put the cart before the horse is not going to move. But if you place the horse first and the cart behind it and load it up, the horse will instantly start moving and then take you to your direction. So going for certificates first is you going in reverse order. All right, so there's always need for you to first get the skill and competence-based knowledge before you move on to start getting certifications. All right, they are nice to have, but they are not the first thing to learn. Now, in our own program, your portfolio is your showroom. Okay, your portfolio is your showroom, and everyone that wants to employ you would want to know how good is Chukwemeka, how good is Elizabeth, how good is Priscilla. And for you to be able to show that, you need to have evidence of things that you've been able to do in the past. And that's where our project-based learning comes in. For instance, in data analysis, quickly, let me click on one of these portfolios so that we see an example of a portfolio of what past students were able to do and how you also will be able to learn easily. So when you click on this portfolio here, it's going to bring you to the portfolio of this exact student. All right, so right here, you'd see that this person was able to work on a project relating to deep care hospital ER visit analysis. All right, next one, she also worked on Redux airline flight analysis. She also worked on Express Tech food delivery. She worked on Zenith Electronics. She worked on Nestle products and so much other projects. Now, these are the things that Benem was trying to mention. So anything that you are learning, any of those key learning areas that you have, you are working on a project. So you can comfortably at any time beat your chest and say, oh, while I was working with analytics, I worked on this exact project. So if you're asked about, okay, hi, Chukwemeka, tell me about a time in the past where you've been able to work on a health data and be able to bring out insights from it. I can comfortably say that, oh, while I was consulting with analytics, I worked on this exact project from the ER visit hospital analysis. And I was able to analyze the various number of times people visited the hospital, the demographic of the people they were coming, their age brackets, and things that they came to do. And from there, we realized that we had so and so number of people coming more from this exact jurisdiction, and we had to specifically target that exact area. And we were able to bring in more patients or more people to buy our products. And from there, we made higher revenue. So simply speaking like that, you can comfortably make any recruiter see that you have had experience in this thing. So you can comfortably see what these exact students work on by just clicking on their portfolio. So that is how you have a showroom to show evidence of everything that you also learned. And the beauty is also that you are not confined to just one sector. For instance, this exact student worked on deep care hospital analysis. That should be in the health sector. She also worked on Redox airline analysis. That should be in the aviation sector. She worked on express tech food delivery. That should be in the logistics sector. She also worked on Zenith Electronics, which should be in the tech ecosystem, and of course, Nestle product analysis, which is in the FMCG industry. So this is how you get to work in several sectors of the economy by just making use of project-based learning. So simply put, you can even have more experience than someone that is already employed. Because if today you're employed in the financial sector or in a bank or maybe in a fintech, you just be working on those fintech data. But by virtue of taking this exact training, you will have experience by working on several data sets from several sectors of the economy. So the same way we'll have it for data analysis, that's the same way we'll have portfolio and project-based learning in all our programs. So the 8 courses I've mentioned, each of them offers you that possibility to learn using project-based approach. Now, the next one is for you to gain employability skills. For you to gain employability skills, one important thing I always tell everyone is that in the tech ecosystem, we are highly technical. I mean, give any of us Excel, Power BI, SQL, Tableau, Jira, Apache Spark, machine learning, we are going to eat it while sleeping. But can you be able to mold and build your CV in such a way that when people look at it, they want to call you back? Okay, so these are part of the things that we help people to achieve. Your technical skills alone cannot get you that job. Okay, so if you feel, oh, I'm the best data analyst in the world, but you've not been able to package and build your CV properly, it is not going to land you that job. For you to land a job, you need to have both the technical skill and the employability skill. I mean, companies these days, they do what we call personality assessment. They want to know whether you're employable. They want to even look at your personality as well. And that's where the employability side of things comes in. So we help you to put you through how do you match your CV to the job that you want to apply to. As a data analyst, for instance, several analytical roles that exist out there, and you're making use of just one CV. That is your first point of failure. So we always walk our students through, make sure you match your CV to the job that you are applying to, because that's the only thing that will help you to scale the initial applicants tracking system. Okay, that initial stage, for you to scale it, you need to make sure that you match your CV to that exact role. And we help our students know how to do this, and we'll then give you a template. So we don't do your CV for you, because we have several times that students will come, oh, help me do my CV, help me do your CV. We are going to have a session teaching you how do you optimize your CV, how do you match your CV to the job that you're going for, so that when you apply, you are constantly matching your CV to that exact job, to the jobs that you are going for. That's the only way you can be able to land a job offer. Next one is LinkedIn optimization. So most times when people see, oh, you posted on LinkedIn, that's too cringe. I mean, it might be cringe to you, but how badly do you want it? Okay, recruiters these days, the easiest way to hire is through LinkedIn. Okay, last week I was trying to hire someone for a role, and I simply went to LinkedIn, typed apollo.io, and it brought out everyone that made a post relating to that exact thing. And I personally headhunted who I needed and had an interview with the person without breaking the bank and anything. So that's the same way recruiters also go to LinkedIn to look for people. But if you are not active, if your profile is not portraying who you are, then there's no way they are going to see you. So we also walk our students through how do they optimize their LinkedIn? How do they even post things that they're currently learning to make sure that everyone knows that they are transitioning to this exact space? Because that's one of the easiest way that recruiters will easily know, oh, Chukwemeka is posting about machine learning, about computer vision, about Python. That means he's moving towards data science, and they'll wait for you, right? Next one is how to navigate the job market. So we bring in expert recruiters back to the classroom to walk our students through the various platforms they can use with respect to landing roles, and then interview preparatory sessions. Okay, you heard when Abisola mentioned that she was using Sheyi, she was using Ibrahim. Any single interview prep session, interview that she gets, she books a preparatory class. And right there, we are going to have a mock interview with us. And we're going to interview you based on the job description. And when you get there the next day, you're definitely going to hear all those questions being asked again. How do you use the STAR framework to answer situation-based questions? How do you use the SIT approach to answer tell me about yourself? For instance, you've gone for an interview and they said, oh, Chukwemeka, do you mind walking us through any time that I've made use of Power BI with respect to analyzing data? Can simply say, okay, while I was consulting with analysts, I worked on this data set from Redux Airline for a client. And from there, I was able to, connect my data set to the Excel, bring it and under Power Query, I had to analyze it, then move it to visualization. And from there, I was able to build all these visuals. And then this was my result. So you've walked them through the situation, which is while you were consulting with analytics, the task you carried out, the action, and then the result. Any recruiter that hear you when you speak like this will definitely say, oh, this person knows what they are doing. And of course, we are available to provide you with reference and recommendation letter at any point that you need it. And when you land a job also, if you've not yet found your fit fully, we're also available to help you till you find your fit in for 1 month. Then we also provide you with weekly mentorship sessions and of course, Upwork optimization session. Now, networking, you need to be able to join a strong community. So clearly you can see what I have on my screen. These exact students got this offer. I just want to say a very big thank you for providing me with reference. And the next one, he's now saying, I am still getting offers, but I don't know who I can recommend. If you have anybody who is solid enough that I can recommend in case another comes forth within Scotland area, please send them across my way. And we're able to send 2 people to this exact alumni, and then they also got offers as well. So this is to show you the beauty of networking. So you've been able to see the 6 steps that we take to make sure we move you from our classroom into landing your role. So the 6th one is mentorship session. You can see a couple of mentorship classes that I've had. First one, the power of focus, interview simulation, where we also have simulated interview sessions for our students. Then we'll have body mentorship session, where we bring in people like Benem, people like Adami, people like Abisola, our past students, to come back to the classroom to mentor upcoming people, okay? And these are where we also handle every other aspect of mentorship that is going to help you build up your career. So these 6 steps helps you easily to move into the tech ecosystem. You can still see the 8 courses that we offer: data analyst, data scientist, data engineering, business analysis, and others. And the salary that is also attached to them, the average salary in UK, Canada, and of course USA, you'd easily see that they are courses that gives you that high rewarding salary. So in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to explain what each of those courses, what they entail, okay? What is business analysis? What is this one? What are they? I'm going to explain it to everyone in the next coming minutes. Okay, so just get your pen and paper and write down at this very moment so that you can be able to make the best decision. All right, so the first one is business analysis. All right, so who is a business analyst? These are people that serve as the intermediate guys between the non-technical stakeholders and the technical stakeholders in the company. Now, the technical guys can be the software developers, the front-end engineer, back-end engineer, and all those guys that do the coding aspect of things, right? And then the non-technical stakeholders will now be your CEO, your CFO, CCOs, all the C's that exist in your company. Now, as a business analyst, you are in between. You are making sure that information is flowing easily from point A to point B. Okay, which means you are going to be in several meetings that you are, for any project that is going to start, you are going to be there because you need to be able to understand the project initiation. So we are going to walk you through project initiation planning and of course, Agile and Scrum for projects. Because for you to also be able to work as a business analyst, you need full understanding of Agile and Scrum. Okay, you're also going to be walked through software development life cycle and of course, requirements fundamentals, then elicitation method and stakeholder analysis. Okay, now you are also the process owner in these exact companies. You need to know, how do I optimize these existing processes in this company and make it better? For instance, as at far back as 2014, if you walk into a Nigerian bank, you're going to notice that it's always a long queue. People walk into the man trap door, they queue up, get to the teller point, pick a form, go to a desk, fill it, come back, queue up again and perform their transaction. Business analysts saw this and said, this is too much. The banking hall is crowded. How do we remove people from the bank and make it easier? Okay, that was now the advent of your agency banking, your internet banking, your mobile apps. Some even included shelves in their banking hall that once you're walking in, you are seeing a shelf saying, okay, this is for a deposit, this is for this, is for that. You instantly pick your form and perform your transaction. Now, this is process mapping. They first of all mapped out the customer journey and found a way to make it better. So as the business analyst, you are constantly going to be looking for ways to make all the processes in your company better. And also because we've noticed that most business analyst roles, companies are now requesting for a business person that has data understanding. That is why you also be taught Excel, Power BI, and SQL. Now, the business analysis program is for 4 months, where you learn immersively in the classroom for 2 months and then have an internship experience with us for 2 months. Now, that internship experience, you are working on other real-life projects with your other colleagues. So you're not going to be interfacing with the project manager, the data analyst, the software guys, and you guys are now working on a real-life project. Okay, so the classes holds every Saturday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, and then evening class 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. So it is one of the classes that you have to choose. It's not both. Okay, it's not both. It's one of the classes that you have to choose. I think that these things you promised to deliver on sounds so good. Please keep your words. I mean, Chidima, that's why we always bring in our past students to come back to classroom and also speak to people. So comfortably on your own, can decide to connect with them on LinkedIn and personally ask them questions. Okay, so we don't shy away from people reaching out to our past students because those are the people that have experienced what we had to offer. Okay, so the classes holds Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. The morning class is stable for people in Europe, UK, and Africa, while the evening class is okay for people in Canada and, of course, US. Then on Sundays, you get what we call a self-paced watch me do it video. So these are now video that you now get to watch on your own to also know deeper about business analysis that you are going into. Now, the next one is Agile Project Manager, which we call Scrum Master, okay? Agile Project Manager. Now, these are people that serve as coach or facilitator within our project management team, okay? So they serve as the coach and facilitator, making sure that everyone on that exact team is working using agile methodologies. Okay, and what exactly is agile? It's working iteratively. I mean, most of us here will use WhatsApp or Instagram. You know that, okay, today, if you go to Instagram, your share button will be here. Next time, if you come, they've moved everything around and the share button is a different place. Now, this is them working iteratively. It means that they did not finish everything they wanted to do. It was one step at a time. And then once they can certify, oh, it has met our user acceptance criteria to move to market, they push it to the market. Now, if you're not looking at maybe the waterfall aspect of project management, that's people building that, oh, we are done with this exact project, we've pushed it out, and that is it. If you're in Nigeria, you know about Nairaland. So Nairaland is one of the platforms that were built with waterfall. They don't iterate, nothing is improving, it's as it is before, so that's the way it is forever. They are done with everything that they want to build on the platform. So if you look at these projects, let's say Nairaland and then even Twitter or X, which one do you think has more viability? The one that is a closed up or the one that has constant iterative actions going on? So as an agile project manager, we're going to walk you through the different methodologies and of course the structure and also the skills and communication aspects of the Scrum Master there. They now move into fully the foundations of Agile and Scrum. And you now have a general understanding of the Scrum framework. You also be taught the Scrum artifacts, your increments, your sprints, and of course, your product backlog. For instance, if you're talking about product backlog, let's assume you want to cook jollof rice right now. If you're cooking jollof rice, there are different ingredients that you have to identify for you to be able to cook your jollof rice. You need your rice, you need your oil, you need your water, you need your onion, and several other things. So that's the same way when you want to build any product. There are several things that you also need to identify. Maybe you need your landing page, you need your username, you need your password, you need several other things, okay? And you've identified them and placed in your product backlog. Now, you are now picking each of them and pushing to sprints. For instance, on the same way you're picking rice, putting to the pot, you are picking your landing page, pushing to sprints. Depending on the sprint time that your company works with, you are now constantly working on them. So you also have your advanced Scrum and Agile practices where you also thought, how do you actually perform your daily Scrum, which is your daily stand-up as some companies might call it. Then you also learn end-to-end use of Jira and Confluence in projects. Now, sometimes Agile may not work for this exact project. Sometimes waterfall may not also work, right? Sometimes hybrid cannot even work. That's a combination of both. It might be something as simple as your Kanban board that you need to make use of respect to that exact project that you want to undergo. That's why you also be taught Kanban boards for workflow management. You also have full understanding of your Jira respect to measuring your metrics and reporting. Okay, you can have understanding of your velocity chart, your burn up and burn down chart to know when your team is performing below par or above what they are supposed to do. They also have understanding of the leadership aspect of Scrum Master and then Nexus Scale Scrum, which is where you learn how to work on multiple projects together. So everything you will learn under this exact course will prepare you for your professional Scrum Master examination. Okay, so the learning timeline for the Scrum Master program is for 4 months as well. You learn immersively in the classroom for 3 months, and then you have your own internship experience with us for 1 month. The class holds every Saturday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, and also on Sundays, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. West African time. I hope we are still following. I hope we are still here. So I'm going to run through all the courses one after the other. So the next one that we have now is the data analyst. All right, so the data analysts are people that work in companies that wants to make sense of that exact data. So, you know, in most of the companies that we are in, we are constantly generating data. Someone needs to be able to look at the data and say, okay, this is what happened and this is why it happened. So a data analyst is concerned with the aspect of data analysis that is talking about descriptive analytics and diagnostic analytics. So descriptive is more of what happened. And then diagnostic is now, why did it happen? For instance, let's use this call for an example. We have, let's say 100 people join this exact call, okay? And this is, maybe we have 50 people joining us from UK, we'll have 20 joining from Canada, we'll have the other 20 from US, and the 10 from the African markets rather. Now, this is what happened. The data analyst has been able to tell us, oh, we had 100 people that joined the call, 50 from UK, 20 from US, 20 from Canada, and then the rest from Africa. Now, he's going to go a step further to say, why did this happen? Right? And from there, he can now decide to look at maybe the marketing trend. And he would see that, oh, the company used 50% of their marketing budget to advertise in UK. They use barely 20% to advertise in US and Canada, and the rest they channeled it towards the African market. And that might be the reason why we are having more people join us from the UK market, which means if we have intentions of breaking maybe into the Asian market, we need to also channel possibility of our marketing ads towards that exact market. So the data analyst is telling you, this is what happened, this is why it happened, and also giving you the prescriptive aspect, which is, if you want this to happen, do this, okay? They're giving you recommendations with respect to what and why it happened. Your key learning area is around problem solving. So you need to, first of all, condition your mindset towards having general understanding of data and solving problem, because that's the mindset that you need to move into as a data analyst. Then next is you have Excel. you'll be taught Excel from basic to expert level. Okay, you'll be taught Excel from basic to expert level. Okay, first thing you'll be working through, you have a general understanding of your rows, your column, your cells, then move into your functions and your formulas. Then, of course, move to your pivot table, your pivot chart, and how to build a dashboard using Excel. Then you also learn your SQL, that's your structured query language. How do you communicate with the database? So for you to be able to bring out data that is already in the database, you need to be able to speak the language that the database understands, and that's where SQL comes in. Then Power BI and Tableau are also visualization tools. So like we all know, Excel has limitation. Excel has only 1,081,000 rows. So at any time that you have a large data set, there will be need for you to make use of a bigger tool to analyze your data. And that's where Power BI and Tableau comes in. They help you to analyze your data and also bring out amazing visuals to be able to have a visual appealing recommendation for your stakeholders. So you also be walked through data storytelling and of course, ChatGPT for analytics and then Microsoft Fabrics for analytics. The learning timeline is for 4 months, where you learn immersively in the classroom for 3 months, and then you have your own internship experience with us for 1 month. The class holds every Saturday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, and then 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. The morning class is suitable for people in Europe, UK, and Canada, and Africa rather, while the evening class suits people in the Mountain Time and Eastern Time regions. So on Sundays, you also get a self-paced watch me do it videos to introduce you to deeper concepts. Now, the next one is the data scientist. Now, remember when I talked about data analysts handling descriptive and diagnostic analytics? The data scientist now goes a step further to work on the predictive analytics, which is that telling the future. This is what is going to happen. If this happened last year, if this happened this year, if we continue on this exact path, this is what is going to happen next year. So how they make this to happen is by having understanding of statistics. So you're going to be taught statistics, and then you also learn forecasting and predictive analysis. How do you build your time series analysis and your trend predictions? Okay, before you move into Tableau for analytics, and then also learn SQL. Now you go a step further to learn Python programming. I know someone asked in the chat box which of our program handles Python. So if I'm looking to go into the coding aspect of tech, you should be looking at the data scientist, okay? You should be looking at data scientists. So you learn Python programming and then also have understanding of how do you handle exploratory data, where you have your outliers, how do you handle them? Then you also have understanding of your machine learning, both your supervised learning and unsupervised learning, and of course, your computer vision, where you learn to build systems that will handle image processing units and of course, object detection systems. You also be walked through GitHub and also ChatGPT and Microsoft Fabrics for analytics. So if you're someone that wants to go into the coding aspect of the tech ecosystem and be in the data coding aspect, then data science should be for you. The learning timeline is for 4 months, where you learn immersively in the classroom for 3 months. Then your internship experience is for 1 month. Then your class also holds same time, all right? 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, then evening 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. Then on Sundays, you get a self-paced watch me do it videos. Now, the next one is the data engineers. Now, these are the guys that, if you come to a construction company, the way we have plumbers that build different pipelines connecting several systems, your water system, your sink, your shower, your taps, and channel everything towards the septic tank. That's the same way the data engineer builds several pipelines to connect you to the data sources. So the data engineer is constantly building several pipelines to connect you to make sure that you have access to a particular data. Oh, I think my second device just went off. Sorry guys, just 1 minute. Let me bring the screen back up again, just 1 minute. My second device just dropped off. I hope we are still following till this very moment. Hope we are still following till this very moment. Okay, I think my second device should be coming up. I don't know why it went off, but it's coming back right now. Okay, yes, we are following. Fantastic. This is an interactive class. If you have any question, please write it down. By the time we are done with these explanations, I'm going to take all the questions that we have. So write it down somewhere, and I'll ask you to unmute and ask your question, or for you to type your question in the chat box. All right, just one moment and we'll be done with explaining all the courses. Okay, Priscilla, if you're still there, please make my second device a co-host as well, so that I can be able to bring up my screen again. All right, please make my second device a co-host so that I can be able to bring up my screen again. Okay, I think you should be back up in the next few seconds. All right, should be back up in the next few seconds. Like I was explaining, for data engineers, you serve as the person that is connecting different pipelines to the data source. Okay, you are making sure that data is available for everyone that wants to make use of it. You are making sure that data is available for everyone that wants to make use of it. So the same way that you have data scientists and analysts making use of data, that's the same way you need to make sure that all those data is made available for them. For instance, let's still use the financial sector. If you want to open an account, some people open accounts through mobile apps, some open through the physical means, some open accounts through internet banking. At any point you go into the banking hall, you want to be able to perform your transaction. You don't want to hear, oh, you opened your account through social media or through this, your data is not available. Okay, nobody wants to hear that. And that's what data engineers do. They make sure that the data is available no matter where you open it from. Okay, if you like opening it through social media or through any means, my screen is not yet up. If you like opening it through any means, that data must be made available. And how they make this to happen is by building several pipelines to connect data together and make sure that it is made available for everyone that needs it. Okay, just a moment again. I don't know why my second device keeps going off. And then, so for data engineering, the first thing that you are going to be learning is Introduction to Data Engineering, where you be walk through the various data lifecycle management and data architecture that exists out there for you to have a general understanding of how data actually flows. So if you walk through the initial one, which is having an understanding of data, okay? And then next one, you'll be walk through having the understanding of, okay, my screen just went off again, okay, SQL. So you have a full understanding of SQL, structured query language. But remember, as a data engineer, you are building SQL from the point of how do you put data into the database? Okay, remember, data analysts and scientists that are using SQL for how do we bring out data and analyze? But you as data engineer, you're looking at it from the perspective of how do you use SQL to make data available for those guys? So you also have understanding of Python programming and of course, Linux operating system. So for you, it's no more just understanding Windows or understanding Mac OS. You need to go a step further to understand Linux operating system. And you also be walked through how you can build a custom ETL pipeline. How do you extract data from a website? How do you transform it in your integrated development environment and then load it to a database so that that data will be available for people that need it? How do you automate this exact process? That's where Apache Spark and Apache Airflow comes in. And of course, you also be walked through AWS Cloud Engineering, basically Azure and GCP, okay? And you also have understanding of version controls and then ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot. So the learning timeline for data engineers is for 5 months, okay? So you learn it massively in the classroom for 3 months, and then you intern with us for 2 months. The class holds every Saturday, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's just one class, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., one class. And then on Sundays, you get a self-paced watch me do it video to introduce you to deeper concepts. Now, the next guys that we have here, that's the financial analyst and the HR analyst. Okay, so if you heard when Benin was speaking, she came from the HR perspective. And clearly, you have the understanding of what data analysts are doing. So your first 4 programs will be around problem solving, Excel, Power BI, and SQL. And these are the same things that the data analyst will be learning. Okay, but why the data analyst is now going deeper into how to make use of Tableau, you are now streamlining yourself to your specific core. All right. So as a financial analyst, you're moving towards accounting fundamentals. How do you utilize Excel for your financial statements, with respect to your cash flow, your balance sheet, and also analyzing your income statements? You're moving into a financial modeling. How do you build a financial model to build a statement of 5 years forecast? And also, how do you perform your valuation? How do you do your sensitivity and scenario analysis? And of course, ChatGPT for analytics. For the HR guys, you are now moving into HR analysis and performance evaluation. How do you utilize Excel with respect to building your performance evaluation? How do you use Excel with respect to building your metrics? How do you use Power BI to bring out your key performance indicators that your company has had so far? How do you use Excel for HR analysis and dashboarding to know that, okay, instead of me to perform exit interview, why not perform stay interviews? Because I've seen that once someone gets to the 3rd year in this company, they resign. So from there, I can easily say, okay, once people are getting to their 2 years, 9 months, I need to have a discussion with them to know how well can make their stay here. So that is how you learn how to utilize all those tools that you've learned with respect to HR. So the learning timeline for both is also 4 months. You learn it massively for 3 months in the classroom and then have an internship experience for 1 month. Now, classes also holds on Saturdays, the morning class 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then the evening class 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Then on Sundays, you get your self-paced watch me do it video that will introduce you to deeper concepts. Okay, I think this should be the last, guys. I hope that we've learned something so far with respect to the explanations about each of those courses. So why we're doing this is to make sure that you are able to pick a career path that suits you very well and not move with the bandwagon. Maybe your friend is going to data, or you feel, oh, my friend is going here, let me join him and move there. So we'll try to explain it for you and be able to find a stable career path that also suits you as well. Now, the last one is the cybersecurity guys. Now, these are people that protect our digital assets. The same way that if you go to your WhatsApp, you have your facial recognition, you don't want anyone to have access to it. If you go to your image, you have your thumbprint there, no one can access it. That's how someone needs to be able to protect the digital assets that companies have. I mean, if you work with any NHS company, you know that they also have cybersecurity guys. Because if at any point my health data is made visible to everyone, it's going to cause commotion. Okay, so someone needs to be able to protect any data that companies are churning out. And that's where these guys come in. So first thing that I'll walk you through is introduction to cybersecurity. You need to have the basic understanding. Of course, we now move into foundations of computing and networking, where you now be walked through what is UP, what is IP, what is LAN, what is the different IP, LAN, WAN, and the rest. Okay, then you move into your information security principle. For anyone moving into cybersecurity, you know that it is hinged on 3 basic principles, and that's confidentiality, integrity, and availability. That's what we call the CIA triad. So for everything that you'll be doing in cybersecurity is hinged on these 3 things. Now you move into offensive and defensive cybersecurity. How do you perform an attack, and how do you defend an attack? How do you make use of your Wireshark with respect to network analysis? How do you use Splunk with respect to your threat analysis? So everything that you have in this key learning area, there's a tool attached to it. Okay, if you're learning about CM2s, you're learning Splunk with respect to your CM2. If you're learning about network security, you're learning about how do you utilize Wireshark for your network analysis. For your defense, you're learning how to utilize Microsoft Defender. For firewall, you're learning how to also use SP-Sense with respect to doing your firewalls. Then for endpoint security, also learning Bob Suite and also Metasploit for your exploitation. And also all these things, you'll be learning how to utilize VMware and also VirtualBox for you to be able to host a virtual lab and have a practical understanding of this. You'll also be walked through incident response and forensics, and of course, cybersecurity policies and compliance, which is where the GRC aspect of things come in, your ISO standards and your GDPR or NDPR, depending on the region that you are joining us from. So the key important thing here with respect to cybersecurity is that each of the key learning areas that you have, you are learning a tool with respect to it, okay? Because that is what gives you the skill and competence that you need with respect to breaking into the tech ecosystem. Now, the learning timeline is also for 4 months, where you learn massively in the classroom for 3 months and then have the internship experience for 1 month. The class holds on Saturdays, just 1 class, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. West African time every Saturday. And then on Sundays, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. West African time. I hope at this point I've been able to explain clearly all the career paths, and you've also been able to identify the one that also suits you the most. If you've not been able to choose a career path, fret not. So within the week or by tomorrow or even this night, my colleagues are going to share a personal one-on-one free consultation where we look at your background and we're not able to choose a career path that suits you the most. Okay, so we look at your background, your first degree, your second degree, things that you've been able to do in the past, and we'll now identify a path that suits you the most. It might be hard for us to do it on this call for 99 people or more than 100 people. So my colleagues are going to share that one-on-one personal free consultation, and we're going to look at your background and be able to answer your questions specifically tailored to you. Now, all this always seems impossible until it is done. I mean, we've seen a couple of people. We had 3 people come right now. We had Dami move from being a digital marketer into being a sustainability analyst. We had Benem moving from being in the hospitality space into becoming a HR person. Then we have Abisola that have always been in the HR, in the data space, move into a better role. So that same way we have Abigail. Abigail moved from being a care worker in Canada into becoming a business analyst. Toyin moved from being a pharmacist into becoming a benefit analyst. And of course, Ramas moved from being a customer success person into becoming also a business architect in the UK. And so many other success stories that we have here. So please feel free, make sure you fill the attendance form so that you have access to this slide. Personally, you can go through all the success stories and be able to see what people had to say. Personally, I love the story of Ikmat. So Ikmat always addressed herself as coming from a background of being a full-time housewife into landing 2 roles in UK, and she was not able to choose the one that suits her the most. Okay, these are all success stories, and we also had sessions like this in the past that you can also click to watch what our past students had to say. Okay, so please make sure you fill the attendance form so that you have access to all these success stories that I am showing for you to be able to also have full understanding of it. Now, the next thing is our next cohort is starting by December 7th. Okay, our next cohort is starting on December 7th. So we always start fresh cohorts on the first Saturday of each month. And by virtue of you being here, we have a discount for you. So the full price for all the courses that we offer goes for $750, but we have discounted amounts for the first 20 people to register for each of those classes. And all you have to do is to secure your spot using maybe the installmental payment option. So for you to be able to get this discount, just click on the link that my colleagues are going to drop. Okay, when you click on the main stack link, it's going to bring you to this 10Alytics Enrollment Center. So you have access to this 10Alytics Enrollment Center. If you scroll down, you see the special offer. 20% discount for early birds. Instead of paying $750, you get to pay $600. Now, if you scroll down, you will see all the courses that we offer. So let's assume that you want to go for data analytics. All you have to do is to click on register for DA. So once you click on it, it's going to bring you to this page where you select whether you want to make your payment one-off, or if you want to make your payment in 2 installments, or if you want to make it in 3 installments, right? If you can see my screen, you see that for data analytics, we only have 10 seats available for the discounted pricing. We only have 10 seats available for the discounted pricing. And what happens after sessions like this is that this seat is instantly filled up, okay? And then if we are coming after these 10 slots are filled, you are now required to make the full payment. So I always advise people to utilize the payment option. You can decide to make one off, which is $600. You can decide to pay in 2 installments, which is $300 each, or you can decide to make $200, which is 3 installments. So all you have to do is click on it and then click on proceed to pay. So once you do it, it's going to show you that your first payment is due today. All right. The next one is due by December 13th, while the last one is due by January 13th of 2025. So what you now have to also do is click on proceed and then fill in your details. So once you've done that, click on pay for the product. So automatically, no matter where you are joining us from, if you're in UK, it takes the equivalent of $200 from the card that you're trying to make payments with. So it should be around £155. If you're in Germany, it takes the euro equivalent from your card. So it collects payments across the globe. It simply converts it to your local currency and takes the equivalent from the card you're trying to make payments with. And if you want to start your own learning journey by January, we also have a possibility of you securing your spot and defer for 1 month. So you have the possibility of deferring for 1 month. So the beauty of it is that by January, if there's any price action due to all these economic changes that is currently happening, which is going to happen, if by January there's any price change, it is not going to affect you because you've already secured your spot. Okay, so you can secure your spot and then defer to start by January. So I hope I've been able to answer everyone's question till this very moment. I hope I've been able to answer everyone's question till this very moment. Remember, the discount is just for the people that are able to secure that exact spot. For data analytics, like I showed us, it is just 20 slots remaining. If you go to business analysis, you are going to see the number of, it's just 10 slots remaining for data analytics rather. If you go to business analysis, you are going to see that number of seats remaining here is just also 10 remaining. So I always advise people to try and secure their spots. Even if you are yet to have a definite career path you want to move into, you want to have a personal discussion with us first before you choose a career path, you can click on any of those courses, select and secure your spot first. Then from our own end, when we've had discussions and found a befitting career path for you, we can change it for you and then move you to the path that you should be in. But please ensure that you secure your spot. Because what I've noticed over the last few days, months, is that after the discount is over, people are now coming, oh, but you told us it's 600. Please, the 600 is discounted pricing. The full amount is 750. Then it is now discounted for the first people to register for all those courses. I don't know if at this point we have any question from anyone. I don't know if there's any question from anyone. Please feel free to, how do you pay from Nigeria? Amazing. How do you pay from Nigeria? Okay, for people in Nigeria, we have special arrangements for you. So when you click on that same link, which is the main stack link, just scroll down to the last, to the bottom. You're going to see NGN instrumental link. So simply click on it and also follow the same process that I mentioned before now. Okay, so this is how you get secure spots and easily get access to our program. So I don't know if there are questions from anyone at this point. Please feel free to use the raise hand icon and I'll call you up to speak and talk to us directly. Or you can drop your question in the chat box and I'll just do a round there and pick your questions as well. So use the raise hand icon and I'll call you up to speak, or you can drop your question in the chat box and I'll also pick it up from there. So the floor is yours at this moment, guys. Any question from anyone? How do you pay from Nigeria? I know I've answered that. That should be from Hassan. I hope you got that, Hassan. So Trudy said, thank you so much. The session has been very insightful. Thank you as well, Trudy, for joining our session. Can you make payments and start in January? Fantastic. I know I have responded to that. So if you have questions, please feel free to type it in the chat box or use the raise hand icon and I will call you up to speak. Just wanted to ask as regards to the internship, is it guaranteed? Oluwatomisin, 100%. So the internship is organized by us. So don't think that we're going to take you to places to have it. So we have our internship where we bring in software developers. We bring in, if you are going for data analysis, you are going to work with software guys, work with data engineers, work with data analysts, working on a project to achieve a goal. Right? So this is for you to also have a simulated work environment of what you experience outside there. Okay, I hope that it is clear for you now, Oluwatomi saying. I want to do both data analysis and business analysis. What offer do you have for doing them? From Joe. So Joe, honestly speaking, I always advise people to go for one first. So even though we love your how like it's proposal, because it makes us make more money, but for you to easily move into the tech ecosystem, you need to first of all choose a career path and pursue it from that exact perspective. When you are done learning that, you can now move to the next one. But if you are trying to learn this, learn that, learn this, learn that, you can't fully have a foundation on a particular place. Now, this is the challenge that people that do self-taught always have. If you're doing self-taught, you notice that personally for me, I did self-taught before I even broke into the tech company. It took me more than 2 years to break into the system. More than 2 years, because this MongoDB will come out, you will learn. You hear that it's Looker, you jump and learn. Tomorrow they will tell you it's R, you jump and learn. Anything that is coming out, you are learning. But how do you streamline into a particular channel and be able to pursue a career path from there? So I advise you to take one first and then move on to the other. And even from the arrangement, all our classes holds mostly 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., then the other one 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Unless you can be at two places at the same time, it will be hard for you to meet up with all of them. So I would advise you to consider taking one first before moving on to the next one. So I think there are a couple of questions also. What's the possibility of getting a remote job from Nigeria? That should be from Callistus. Callistus, 100% there is possibility of you getting a remote job from Nigeria. So if you can see my screen, you see Abdrashid. Abdrashid presently still resides in Nigeria. I mean, before he got his job with Char 420 in US, I think he was residing in one of the southwestern part of the country. After he got that, he moved to the capital city, and that's where he's presently residing, and he is working for Char 420. But is it something that will come easy for you? It is not. So I'm not going to lie to you. It's not going to come easy for you because companies are also constantly looking for how do we employ people within our region to also save ourselves the stress. So what I advise you to do is, if you are looking to get all those remote jobs, first thing for you is to learn and then constantly apply severally, aggressively. So the people that is in UK, US, or Canada, and is, they're based there already, they can apply maybe not as aggressive as you are. But for you, you need to be able to apply aggressively and look for the one that will give you that remote access. So when we tell you, oh, I want someone in UK or someone that is residing in this exact region, it means that those ones are not for you. There are ones that you're going to see, and they will say it's remote option, but we want someone in UK. It's remote option, we want someone in Canada. They are not for you. But there are ones that you see, and they will give you the full remote opportunity. Now, these are part of the things that we handle in how to navigate the job market in part of our employability services. Okay, hope that answers your question. Callistus, please, how long have you been running these courses? From Abu Joseph. Fantastic. So Joseph, we've been in business for more than 4 years. By 2025, we should be entering our 5th year. And we've helped over 2,500 people to move from our classroom into landing their first role. So it's not, there's a slang that always says, don't be today. So we've been in this space for a long time. From Michael, do you need to have any knowledge of Excel to actually participate in data science track, or will it be taught from beginner level to expert level as well? Fantastic, Michael. So all our programs are from basic to expert level. Okay, even when you come in there with an initial knowledge, we are still going to walk you through from the ground level, because there are people coming into that exact program without any knowledge at all. There are people coming into data science from a pharmacy perspective. There are people coming into data engineering from a law perspective. I mean, the best data engineer that we had, he's a pharmacist. So he transitioned from being a pharmacy, we still call him doctor. He transitioned from being a pharmacist into being a data engineer. So that's to tell you that all the courses are from beginner level, so that we can be able to carry everyone along. So you don't need to have a certain level of knowledge before you be able to get along in those space. Please, can you recap on how to enroll from UK? Hi, Jude. Jude, are you there? So easily, when you click on the main stack link that my colleagues are going to drop, simply scroll to the course that you want to go for. It's that simple. If you click on the main stack link, scroll down and select the program you want to go for, which is register for DA. So right there, all you have to do at that point is to select whether you want to make a one-off payment or make a payment in 2 installments or make payments in 3 installments. So if it's 3 installments, you select it and click on proceed to pay. And that is simply it. So it's going to show you that the first payment is due today. Next one is due December 13th. Last one, January 13th. And that is just it. Click on proceed and then fill in your details and pay for the product. So when you click on pay, it's going to bring out options for you to fill in your card details. So automatically, it takes the equivalent of $200 in UK, which will be around £155, and then debits your payment card. As simple as that. So no matter the region you are joining from, this is still the easiest way for you to make payments. And then when you are done making payments, please go back to this main stack link and click on upload your receipt here. So once you upload your receipt, it's going to hit us, and then at that point, we're going to reach out to you and then provide you with a welcome kit and everything that you need. Okay, Emeka Amuzie, I sent an inquiry via email to inquire about 3 to 4 days ago, but I never got a response. Sorry about that, Emeka. I'm going to follow up on that. Namesake, I think I've seen your name before. I'm going to follow up on that to make sure that that is responded to. All right. I'm going to follow up on that. Okay, I already have a PMP project manager, but I need the internship resume improvement metrics only. How much discount will I get? Hassan, thank you so much for that question. Now, most times we always get people saying, I already have this, I already have that, I want to just do the internship. So all our program is combined. We don't break it out from the technical skill and then sell the employability session. No, it's combined. Because what we've noticed is someone will tell you, oh, I have Excel knowledge, I have Power BI, and I can do this, I just want to do your internship. And they'll come into the internship program and would end up teaching them how to make use of all those tools. Okay, as a PMP person, do you know how to make use of Jira? Do you know how to make use of Confluence? Do you have understanding of everything that you need to know? Because what certification gives us most time is the theoretical knowledge, right? But when you now want to just enter into the internship, it means that those things that was handled in the classroom, remember, it is project-based learning, okay? Each of those key learning areas that you have, you are working on a project. Remember, that's how it functions. So if you decide to join at the internship level, you've missed out on the project that they worked on already, on the technicalities of things that they've performed. So it is not separated. It's all a combined package. For you to land a job, you have to get the technical skill and the employability skill. And we don't give one without the other. It has to come together so that we can be fully assured and beat our chest that this is the product of 10Alytics and we can vouch for him or her at any point in time. Hope that answers your question, Hazan. Does it come with certification, data analysis, and is getting a job guaranteed from Job Hunt? All right, Job Hunt, I always ask people that ask whether getting a job is guaranteed. All of us, most of us here, we studied some courses before we broke into the tech ecosystem. What's the guarantee that school gave us that we're going to land a job? So when I see questions like this, it always makes me to know how we are actually looking at these things. Now, our success ratio is 88%, which means out of 100 people that join us, it's 8 get to move on to jobs. The 22, or the 12 rather, that didn't get a job, does it mean that they didn't pass through the same process that the other 8 passed through? That is not true. But the difference is now applying to jobs. Remember, it is your responsibility to apply to jobs. It is your responsibility to apply to jobs. All we can do for you is to give you the technical skill and to give you the employability skill. But it is your job to apply to a job. And from the survey I was reading last week, it said that for you to land one job interview in a month, you need to apply to 27 jobs in a week. Now, this should tell you how the competition is out there. So the responsibility falls on you to apply to these jobs. What we do from our own side is we help you also look at the other job boards that you may not have access to. All right, so quickly, let me take you to our platform, our learning management system. So when you join, you are going to have access to this platform. So what we do also is that we scrape several job boards, right? We scrape several job boards and make all those jobs available for you there, okay? We scrape several job boards and make jobs that are on those job boards available for you to apply to here. So you have it in your job board section in the learning management system, but it is your responsibility to apply to those jobs, okay? It is your responsibility to apply to those jobs. So if you can see my screen, you will see this segment where we have job boards. So we've scraped so many sites that are even paid for and make jobs that are there available for you in your classrooms here. So your responsibility is now to apply to these jobs. Okay, you can see some of the jobs here. Your responsibility is to apply to those jobs. Now, if Mr. A applies to 20 and you job hunt with Providence, it didn't apply to anyone, there's no how you're going to land a job. Okay. And what we also do is that we have a job tracker that from it, we can easily see, oh, you applied to 20 jobs last month and you've not been called for any interview at all. We are going to call you and have a personalized conversation with you to find out where the challenge is coming from. But remember, you need to be able to apply to jobs for us to even be able to call you up to have this personalized conversation with you. Okay, so hi, Joe. I'm going to ask you to unmute so you can also ask your question before I continue with the rest in the chat box, and then we round up for here. Joe, are you there? Your hand is up and I've asked you to unmute. Okay, I think Joe is not unmuting.
Hello.
I've asked you to unmute. Hi, Joe, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi. Please go ahead with your own question.
Yes, thank you for this session tonight. You've already answered my question about whether I could do data analytics and business analytics. You've already answered it.
Okay, fantastic.
I just wanted to know whether you have you do extra or special packages for persons who wanted more to do more. That's what I wanted to know.
Okay. No, so we don't merge two programs together. It's more of approaching it from a one point of view, like I've rightly mentioned before now. Okay. So just Joe, what I would advise you to do is to choose a career path first. When I transitioned, I started from data analytics. Now I can talk about business analytics. All of those tech career paths, I can comfortably work in them. It's not something that happened within just 4 months, because that's where people box themselves up. It's not something that happened within 4 months. In fact, it's close to 10 years that I've been able to make this journey, right? So it's now you starting from a particular point and then counting your own steps one after the other. I don't know if that makes sense to you now, Joe.
It does. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. So please, if you want to also speak to me, you can use your raise hand icon and I will call you up to speak. In the absence of that, let me just finish up the questions we have in the chat box and then we'll call it a day. Okay, I think the other question is, does it come with certification? I know I've answered that. If you're in Nigeria, you must apply aggressively and fast. I mean, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Are the job just from UK, US, or Canada? How about other European countries? Fantastic. So what we do is, because these countries are, the most popular ones that people always move to UK, US, or Canada. But we also have people that join from Australia. In fact, I think we've had like 7 people that joined us from Saudi Arabia, and I was actually shocked to see people joining from Saudi Arabia. So we always work different people across all this. It's the same formula, really, right? It's the same formula. It's not for you to be able to tailor it down to your own jurisdiction. So your location is not a deficit. If you're in UK, fantastic. If you're in Australia, amazing. If you're in Brazil, great. If you're in Ghana, fantastic. If you're in South Africa, the same thing. It's all about learning how to be able to utilize all those things. Is the payment in USD or card? It don't mean. So the payment is in USD, but if you're in Canada, it automatically converts that USD to your card. Okay, because you're going to make payments using a Canadian card. So the USD is converted and then your card account is automatically debited. Okay, can I do, okay, I've answered this. I think I've answered all the questions that we have here. I just wanted to get a 20-hour job instead of a longer hours in the UK. Thank you. I mean, these are all specifics requirements right now, Abby. There are chances of you to get all these jobs that you are requesting for. I mean, someone like Ikmat, I'll play her video before we are done. When Ikmat was still training with us, the job that she got was actually a longer time job. So she was not able to take it because she was still a student at her then. So she had to wait till she finished school before she now got 2 other jobs that gave her visa sponsorship. So all these things happen, but then it means that you also need to apply streamlined aspects. So for instance, let's look at, I'm already giving you guys benefits of people that should be in the program. So if you look at read.co.uk, if you are using this site to search, so let's just look for data analyst role in United Kingdom, right? Let's just look for data analyst role in United Kingdom. So right here, you're going to see some of the jobs that are available here, and then you can be able to streamline it how you want it to be. This should be for you, Abby. So right here, if you scroll down, you will see there are permanent roles, job type, there are temporary roles, there are contract, there are full-time, there are part-time. So for you that is looking for a job that is less hard, you may want to utilize some of those aspects and be able to streamline it to what you are looking for. But you can see where the issue is right now. For instance, what you're looking for, the only available jobs there is just 34, which means there is need for you to be aggressive. Okay, if it's a permanent role which will allow you to work for more time, that means you can easily get in. But for all those streamlined roles, there are minimal jobs there. And that's where Upwork also comes in. So we also put our students through Upwork optimization. How do you use Upwork? With respect to landing contractual roles and be able to find simple hourly jobs that you can be doing. When we get to the internship part, is this going to be individual or teamwork? Fantastic question, Joanna. So what we always try to do is sometimes it's individual, sometimes it's teamwork. Okay, most times it's actually teamwork because we're trying to make sure that everyone works as a team to streamline what's going to happen in the actual work environment. Okay, I hope that answered your question. What happens to class time because some of us goes to work on weekends? Amazing, Jude. Amazing question. I've been waiting for this time question. Now, all our classes are recorded. You agree with me that as adults, it is very, very hard to get everyone into a room at a particular time. I mean, even in my own family, for it to bring all my siblings and myself back to the house, for everyone to sit down and talk, it is highly impossible. And we are just barely 5 in the family. Now, imagine a class of 20 people. So that's why all the classes are always recorded. That even if you miss a session, you have access to recorded version of that class. You can go through the recorded aspects and then also ask questions because we have WhatsApp groups that you can instantly on the go screenshot the challenge you're having, post, and your data coach will answer it. And then during the week, we have what we also call drop-in sessions. So these are people that didn't understand what happened in the previous class, coming back to that exact drop-in to now say, oh, I was trying to do the same Excel formula that you did in the past class, and my own didn't run. I'll share my screen and then it will be handled. So these are ways that will make sure that we are able to carry everyone along. So it's very hard to have all the adults seated at the same time. There will be work challenge, there will be family issues that will come up, there will be personal things that will come up. I always tell people that the easiest thing to actually do is to register for the course. Now, where the actual challenge comes up is to show up each day. Make sure you show up every weekend and learn what you are being taught. So what we do is to record all the classes and make sure that you have access to it after the class. And the access is lifetime. So you have access to our platform for life. Like you heard the guys that were speaking to us, the alumni, they are still disturbing us up to now. Oh, I got this job, I need reference, and we're going to provide it for them. So all these are things that we do to make sure that we move you from your classroom into landing your first job. From job hunt, please, I'm about to pay, but I have a last question after mentorship. In the case I want to further for certification, will I get help and guide from your team? Amazing question, job hunt. Now, when it comes to certification, it is entirely different. For instance, if let's assume you're a cybersecurity person, there are different diets that you need for certification. There is CEH, there is CompTIA++, there is CNNA, there is CISA, there is CISM. So there are different certifications out there. All right. So what we do is the technical and competence aspect that we handle for you fully. Okay. And in the tech ecosystem, that is what you need to land a job. Now, if you are requesting for certification, is now the certification body that you're going to look at their own diets and know what they request for. So for instance, if you decide to look at a simple data analyst role here right now, we are going to see that no single certification is required. The only thing they need you to have is to have those understanding, those two knowledge of things that they want. For instance, for this one, they're saying, I want someone with SQL knowledge or making use of Python or Power BI. I want someone that has understanding of product development life cycle. If you go through all this, you are not going to see any certification at all. And that's what I've been trying to hammer since. In the tech ecosystem, is more of competence over certification. Now, if you are going for, let's say, a cybersecurity role, and they are going for something like they are going for the senior consultant at cybersecurity, of course, you'll be asked for certifications. So it's always advisable to start from this entry level. And then when you're on the roll, you're now pursuing upper learnings and certifications to be able to climb. But certification in its initial sense is not relevant with respect to you landing all this role. It's a nice to have, but it is not a need to have. So we help you with the skill and competence-based aspects. Now, continuous learning is now something that you have to pursue on your own. Like I told you when I transitioned, funny enough, the truth is that I transitioned with analytics. That should be far back as 2018, 2019 or thereabouts. It was data analytics. When I transitioned, everything I know right now are things that I had to now personally upskill myself. I transitioned with data analytics, moved into business analytics, moved into GRC, cybersecurity. I didn't have to do all those things, but then it's now personal upskilling that made me to get to all those points. I hope I answered your question, Job Hunt. I think I've been able to answer all the questions in the chat box. So thank you to everyone so much. Please make sure that you're able to secure your spot as fast as possible. I always shout this so that when you go back there, you are not going to see that discount is already exhausted. Like you saw, it's just remaining around 10 for some of those courses. And it's just for the first 20 and it's already around 10. And what happens after sessions like this is that it is easily filled up. It is easily filled up because people instantly try to secure that spot. So there are more testimonials on the slide. Please make sure that you fill the attendance form so that by the end of this class, you can get the slide and also the record of this conversation so that you can be able to go through it and see what every other person had to say. So if you are yet to secure a particular course that you want to do, make sure you secure your spot first. Then by tomorrow, next tomorrow, within the week, you're going to see a calendar link in the community you are coming from, where you can easily book a personal free consultation with us for us to find a career path that suits you the most. Okay, so once we're able to find that, you can now change your own career path from the back end. Okay, so but make sure you secure your spot so that you're not waiting to have that free consultation before you do, and then it's now filled up. Thank you to each and every one of you once more. This is what we've been doing for the last more than 4 years, and we've helped close more than 2,500 people move from our classroom into landing their first jobs. And they all work in these amazing places. I always tell everyone that NHS is our highest employer of labor in UK. And that's because they offer visa sponsorship. So thank you guys so much. You can also see some of the amazing good works we've been able to do in the past. In fact, we have our next hackathon, global hackathon coming up 30th of this month, where we bring in data enthusiasts across the globe to fight for the winning money. Last year, we had a $1,000 competition also on Data Hackathon, where the winner had to go home with it. And that's what we're also trying to do this time around. So like Damilare mentioned, the best time to get into the tech ecosystem is 5 years ago. The next best time is now. And Benem also said, stop thinking about it, just do it. So make sure that you're able to also be able to do it. On behalf of my founder, Adeza Suleiman, and my co-founder, Efemina Ibro, I say a very big thank you to each and every one of you for joining us till 8 p.m. West African time to this very moment. It's not an easy time to, give me your ears and listen to everything that we have to say. Like I said, please make sure that you get to secure your spot so that you can easily start your own learning journey by December. If you start now, if you start by December, you are already like 30 days ahead of people that are trying to start by 2025. So it is not yet over until it is over. While most people are already rounding up their year saying, oh, next year I'm going to do this, next year I'm going to break into tech. So now is the best time, because by next year, you'll now be looking for jobs that you are going to get. Thank you guys so much once more, and do have a wonderful night rest. Cheers and bye for now. Bye, guys.